Good morning, everyone. Another Sundance review. This was actually my highest anticipated... Bless you.
Thank you.
This was my highest anticipated film going into Sundance. A new A24 horror film starring Ayo Edebiri, Opus. I have to say, I was really surprised by the critical reception of this film. But first, Ryan, do you want to give us a brief plot description?
Sure. So as mentioned, Ayo Edebiri plays a young writer invited to a remote compound owned by a mega pop star. He's played by John Malkovich, who mysteriously disappeared 30 years ago and has resurfaced. Surrounded by sycophants, she finds herself in the middle of his twisted plan.
So, without beating around the bush, this is a cult film.
Yeah.
As mentioned before, this was my most anticipated film for Sundance. A24, Ayo Edebiri. I mean, what could go wrong? Unlike the majority of critics, I don't feel this was a major disaster by any means, but I did feel let down by this film.
Yeah, I share your overall feelings. Opus is the type of film I feel like you can reference so many examples that it's similar to because it kind of doesn't have its own really unique identity. Like, I view Opus as a reinterpretation of Willy Wonka, which I think sounds so much cooler than what Opus is. But Ayo is like our Charlie Bucket. He's invited with a bunch of self-involved people to visit a compound of a mysterious personality. There's a bunch of uniform cult members similar to Oompa Loompas. And then John Malkovich, like Wonka, he's an eccentric. He sings a song. Malkovich air hums. I don't think Wonka did that, but there's a lot of comparisons to be made.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good comparison to make. But I think a more modern comparison would be The Menu. I mean, they're invited to this hidden away compound. They were selected specifically because of their career aspirations. They're all intrigued by this mysterious figure, a deity of a man. And like The Menu, Opus doesn't quite stick the landing.
I mean, was it even really close to the landing?
To me it was, but...
I will say, I wasn't bored by Opus ever. I personally didn't find the pacing sluggish at all. At a certain point, I started coming to terms with kind of knowing that this film really isn't going to come together. And recently, I read that the director...
Is this a feature debut?
Yes, this is his feature debut. And previously, I learned that he was an editor at GQ magazine, which was surprising to hear because for a movie to be about journalism and celebrity, I don't feel like it has really any real insight on the world of journalism. It feels rather surface level. The film, had this opportunity to have some commentary or satirical humor pointed at culty celebrity obsession. I mean, at this point with Glass Onion and The Menu, I'm not sure we need another...
Sorry.
Now it's your turn. Was that a cough or a sneeze?
Sneeze. I always get that.
That was a cute sneeze. I mean, at this point with like Glass Onion and Menu, I'm not sure we need like another thriller that pokes fun at the elite, but Opus feels just rather aimless in terms of what it's trying to say, if really anything at all.
Yeah, it did feel pretty generic. I think that's the word that really hits home for me. I feel like it had a fall from grace moment due to the fact that we all put it up on a pedestal because it's an A24 movie, which we've come to expect a certain level of quality from those films, and it features a rising star, and the trailer was great. However, it ended up being a bit of a disappointment for me, unfortunately.
Well, let's talk about Ayo Edebiri really quick.
I was expecting a lot because she's been receiving so much recognition for The Bear, and this is one of her big, I guess, first lead roles, and I don't feel she was the perfect fit for this genre.
I don't know. Either she doesn't fit the genre or maybe it was just kind of an overall direction issue. Totally, I'm not sure the actions on screen matched the tone that Edebiri was bringing. We caught up with actually Smile 2, I think like last month. Naomi Scott's performance in that, I mean, that is true commitment. That is true fear that I think was needed for this film. I do think John Malkovich is having some fun in this movie. I think that was fun to watch. He sings some songs in this. I think that was some really good songs, actually. That was written by Nile Rodgers and The Dream.
Fun songs, yeah. Fun songs.
The other supporting characters, I think, fall by the wayside, other than, oh, he's a jerk, or like, she's a brat. They're not really memorable. Like, I couldn't even tell you how many guests were invited with Edebiri to Malkovich's compound because they just don't stand out to me. I can't remember how many there were. I mean, I'm not sure what else I can say about this movie. Do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, for me, I was never bored. So that's a good thing, in my opinion. If you looked at the reception of this film, it's just, I don't agree that it's that bad. It's just lacking the creativity that would set it apart from other similar films. Is it amusing? Sometimes. Is it creepy? Sometimes. Is it ever truly funny or deeply disturbing? Not really.
Yeah, I agree with pretty much everything you said. When Opus kind of reaches its finale, it reminded me of Seven. In Seven, though, when the evil mastermind's plan is revealed, the story comes to fruition. In this film, when the mastermind finally reveals its plan, we're kind of left befuddled. So, Yvette, what is your rating?
Well, you just said it, 7. Look, I was entertained. It's not a tidy or very creative film, but my own high expectations may have affected my enjoyment. So I'm taking that into consideration and I'm going with a 7. You?
Oh, 7. 6.
Okay. Well, check out Opus at your own risk and let us know what you think about the film. More Sundance reviews coming your way, so subscribe if you like, follow on social media.
And until next time, everybody, we'll see you at the Oscars.
And at Sundance.